All right. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to the Krug Show, bright and early. Game day. That's right. Welcome to Saturday, January the 3rd. It is week 18 in the NFL. Tonight at Levi's, the 49ers and the Seahawks in about 40 minutes from now, roughly. The Krug Show ends and we go over to KMBR for a little 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. 49er forecast. And the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, is going to join me. So you'll definitely want to hear that. But welcome to the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. We got a lot to get to, so let's do it right now. Fire up the band. I almost feel like it's Upton Stout Day. Let's do this. Let's do this. That's what he kept saying on draft night. He was talking to John Lynch, calling him coach. Let's do this, coach. Let's do this. Well, Upton, that's how I feel this morning. Let's do this. Let's do this. Welcome to the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera, and they're soon to open in 2026 in Petaluma. That's right. Check out Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Go say hi to Damon. Go say hi to Mary. Get some brisket. Get some brisket chili. Tell them the Niners are going to beat the Seahawks. And more importantly, tell them that Krug sent you. Thanks to them for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. My good friend Anthony Catania is going to be at the game tonight. Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles is at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. Thanks to Anthony Catania. You can reach him at 831-521-5264. He pays your shipping. He's a great follow on Instagram, Sharp Corners 831 on the gram. We're also brought to you by Sleeper and Habbas Law. We will get to them in a bit. But we're often running on a Saturday. Sometimes on Saturdays we go live with the great John Chapman. When John's not traveling, he pops in here on a Saturday, but he was feeling a little ill, a little under the weather. So, John, hope you get better, my friend. Hope you have a great 49er Seahawk Saturday night, and I hope you're well-healed. And I hope we never have to go out on the road again. If the Niners win tonight, they are the number one seed in the NFC playoffs. I personally think that the chances of the 49ers winning the Super Bowl are probably not great this year because they have no Bosa, they have no Fred Warner, but there is a little magic, and there's no question that Brock Purdy's playing great ball right now. And so it really comes down to, what do we expect to see in this thing tonight? And I've got a bunch of different thoughts on it, but part of me says that the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl. They got to win tonight. Because yes, could they go on the road and go to Philly and go to LA and go to Chicago and go to all these places and beat these teams? Yeah, I do. I do believe the 49ers can beat Philly and Philly. I do believe the Niners can beat the Rams in L.A. Heck, they've already done it. I do believe they could go to Seattle and beat Seattle. They've already done it. So I do think they can win these games in the NFC playoffs on the road. But, man, as depleted as they are, as young as they are, as old as they are in some spots, I don't know if they can go the entire playoff run on the road and win the Super Bowl. Somewhere in there, you just think their luck's going to run out. Now, if they win tonight, they're the number one seed, and that changes everything because then you get the first round bye, and you get the second round at home against the lowest seed. And then that means that if you can win that game at home against the lowest seed remaining in the playoffs, you're playing the NFC Championship game at home. And your team's your quarterback has experience in that situation. Your team has experience in that situation. Most of the teams that you're going against do not. So the experience edge advantage 49ers for sure. against almost everybody except for what? Philadelphia. Philadelphia was just in the Super Bowl last year, so they've got great experience. Everybody else, for the most part, doesn't have that experience that the Niners do have. So I do think tonight means a lot. I really do, because it's going to be difficult to go out on the road and roll through the NFC playoffs, even though it's doable. It's not impossible. It's not like, oh, no, they're cooked. No, they're not cooked. They lose tonight, the season is not over. The Super Bowl dream is not over. But if they win tonight, the Super Bowl dream becomes almost so right there that you can touch it, right there that you can taste it. If they win tonight, they got a great shot. So let's talk a little bit about the ball game. Let's talk a little bit about the matchup. How did I do my prep this week? Well, you know what? I prep usually the same every week. But this week was different because you had the Christmas holiday and New Year's Eve in between, the whole deal. So the Niners, because they played Saturday, they didn't practice on Friday. They practiced a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, I went down there, spent the whole day, went into the locker room, did a great interview with Chase Lucas. Really like Chase Lucas, man. Chase Lucas is the truth. Talked to a bunch of guys, though. And then did the Shanahan presser, the whole deal. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, they didn't practice till like New Year's Eve at 5:00. Sorry, guys. I'm watching college football playoffs. I'm cooking. I'm getting ready to have a New Year's Eve with the family. Sorry. Didn't go on Wednesday. And then New Year's Day, once again, a lot of drinking on New Year's Eve. So I didn't go again. So I only went Tuesday this week. Normally, I am there for every single minute of everything. I don't miss anything. But you know what? My family comes first, and my drinking and partying comes first as well. So I drank and partied on Wednesday and Thursday. Went Tuesday, tried to do enough work for the week, and then sat out the next 2 days. What I have done, though, is I've talked to both Steve Rabel and the color analyst for the Seahawks as well, the former Stanford linebacker Dave Wyman. So I've talked to I talked to Dave Softy Mahler. So I got the best talk show host, I got the play-by-play guy, and I got the color analyst this week. So I feel like I'm pretty much in the know when it comes to the Seahawks and what they're looking like. But let's talk a little bit about tonight because there's some things that have to be decided before the game. Like, is George Kittle going to go? Is Trent Williams going to go? Is Ricky Pearsall going to go? They're all listed as questionable. George has already said that he's going to play. So George is going to go. It sounds like it's a pregame decision on Ricky and Trent Williams. Trent Williams did not practice all week. Normally that means 99% chance that you're not going to go, but Trent Williams is Trent Williams, and he makes his own rules, and he can decide if he wants to go. I don't think he's going to go tonight. I think it's going to be Austin Pleasance at left tackle. And then this morning, there is a Ricky Pearsall little news item that I retweeted. And it's funny, the reaction to this when I retweeted this. Basically, it was just a, where is it? RSF 49ers. My man Raj, according to Jeremy Fowler, Ricky Pearsall, who's got an ankle and a knee injury, is, quote, hopeful to play Saturday night against Seattle. I mean, once again, this is a guy that they badly need. He plays, he gets hurt, he doesn't play. He plays, he gets hurt, he doesn't play. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this guy. It's like, you got to play. You got to be available. That's kind of the key. So they need him. Now, can they do it without him? Yeah, they can do it without him. They've done it without him. But come on, man. This is like a playoff game. Get out there and do it. And if he can't get out there and do it, then let's take a look at some other guys who might be able to do it. Like, Kyle, how about a little Jordan Watkins? I know it's week 18, but why the fuck not? I mean, this guy scored 9 touchdowns in the SEC last year. Something tells me this guy can play. I've been saying it all year. Jordan Watkins, to the point where I don't doubt myself ever, But I'm starting to doubt the Niners and their ability to handicap personnel. You're not seeing that Jordan Watkins, he runs in the 4.3s and is 200 pounds and made plays down the field in camp and was one of the more polished receivers in the SEC last year. You're not seeing that? You're not seeing that? Or somehow your practices include, receivers that look a whole lot better than him? So I don't know, man. It's time to see Jordan Watkins. It's time to see more of Bourne. If Ricky Pearsall can't go, man, I don't even know what to say about that. You play a game, you're hurt. You play another game, you're hurt. You play another game, you're hurt. I mean, it's just, this guy is so fragile, so fragile. So, and then the reaction to, this, of course, there's 24 reactions. Let's see what the reactions are. Spider Rico, hopeful nothing. You either want it or you don't. Brace that shit up and let's go. You can rest on the bye week. Okay, that's comment number one. John, another reason we need that number one seed. He might be in better shape after an extra week off. Great. Brett, need everyone. Dr. Perrins, Ricky is a walking question. Luckily, JJ and Bourne are absolutely killing it at wide receiver. Lydell, what's the over-under on how many plays before he's injured again? Sachs, is this guy ever healthy? Jasmine, hopeful, question mark? Wow, we may be cooked. I mean, God, Niners, this guy needs to bulk up a little and do some yoga this offseason, get that flexibility going. Man. Hikes says, we need him. Investigate the 49ers. Excuse me? Question mark. Rosin Kane. Dude's made of glass. I mean, Aniston. He'll play for 2 series and be hurt again. This game is shaping up to be the 49ers' favor, or this game is shaping up to the 49ers' favor at all. Hopefully the rain at least can slow Seattle down. Kai the Lobe, stop being a bee and play everything on the line. I'm tired of it. The TNEQ, bro, I'm tired of him. He's hurt every week. I mean, I don't know what to say. T says, here comes everyone shitting on him again. It's raining there and the ground's slick. We got to the playoffs to deal with. Save him till then. There's the people that just, nothing. There is no amount of number of apologies they can make. So there you go. So Trent, no. Kittle, yes. Ricky, question mark. And that just seems like it's always the case. Ricky's always a question mark. I like him. I think he's good. But, bro, you got to play. You got to play. Big games. Big games. You got to play in big games. You got to play in big games. You got to win big games. Of course, there was that moron who claimed that Jerry Rice sucked, who could probably say, well, Ricky Pearsall runs 4.41. I guess he's awesome. Rice sucks because he ran 4.7, even though he was the greatest receiver that ever lived. But Pearsall's awesome because he runs 4.4. I mean, it's like, what? All right. It's a big day today because Greg Papa, the voice of the 49ers, plans on being back in the radio booth at Levi's Stadium tonight. Pop has been waging a courageous battle with leukemia since summer. And he wanted to get back last week for the Bears game. Couldn't do it. And this is a big accomplishment. So, Greg, we love you, brother. We're with you. We'll stop by and say hello. We don't want to interrupt anything today, but we'll stop by and say a quick hello. Have a great call. As I said, we love you. Niner fans love you. Keep fighting the fight. And do what you love to do and do it well. Because you're the best doing it, man. You're the very best doing it, and just get out there and do it. And I can't wait to hear it. It's gonna lift up the audience. I don't know if it'll lift up the Niners, or it's gonna lift up the audience. As far as the injury report for tonight, Trent Williams is listed as questionable with that hamstring. As I said, I don't think he's gonna go. Didn't practice all week. I'd be surprised if he went. Keon White, though, got out there at the end of the week with the groin strain. I think he is going to go. He's also listed as questionable. Kittle is listed as questionable with the ankle. He stated he is going to go. Pearsall is a game-time decision. Upton Stout is out of the blue non-contact jersey. He was in the concussion protocol, I believe. He has come out of the concussion protocol and plans to play. He has been cleared to play tonight. A lot of people debating that because the game was less than a week ago and the concussion protocol and it's supposed to be a week. I'm not going to question that. He's good to go tonight, and they need him. They badly need him. But they have their, believe me, they're not shortcutting anything with player safety these days. That's just not. They're not going to shortcut anything. CMC's got back tightness, but he's going to go. It's not a big deal. Juszczyk was out there this week. He's got a hip. He's going to go. YGM's got a knee injury. He's had it all year with a hamstring. He's going to go. So we'll see. If the Niners win, they're the 1 seed. If the Niners win and the Rams win, the Niners would be or if the Niners lose, I should say, and the Rams win, Rams get the 5 seed based on the NFL's number 3 tiebreaker. Best one-lost percentage in common games. So the Rams beat Houston, Jacksonville, Tampa. The Niners lost all 3 to nullify the Niners' wins over Atlanta and Carolina, the teams that beat LA. So they have the advantage in that. So basically, if the Niners win, they're the 1. If the Niners lose and the Rams beat the Cardinals, which everybody's expecting, the Niners would be the 6 seed, with the Rams being the 5 seed. If the Niners lose and the Rams lose, the Niners are the 5 seed. Now, it makes a big difference because if you're the 5 seed, you're probably getting that Carolina-Tampa winner, which is probably going to be Tampa in Tampa, which you've already lost to Tampa in Tampa this year, but they're not playing well right now. They've lost 7 of 8. That would be the likelihood. Or you're going to play Philly in Philly. And if you're the 6 seed, you're going to travel to the 3 seed, and that's going to be Philadelphia in Philadelphia. And that game's going to be tougher. So I'd rather be the 5 seed and take on Carolina Tampa winner than be the 6 seed and go to Philly. But either way, I think the Niners can win. If you look at what we may see tonight, this could be a big Christian McCaffrey game as a receiver. Now, he needs, I think, 100 yards receiving or 110 yards receiving to become 1,000. Second man, the first man ever to go for 1,000 in back-to-back years. Seahawks defense is first in the NFL in yards per carry. They give up 3.7 a carry. They're third in rushing yards per game. But running backs get 22% of the targets against Seattle's defense, is the highest rate in the NFL. So expect the Niners to throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield in this matchup tonight. This is going to be a really interesting one. It's historic as well, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. Seahawks and Niners tonight. It's the first matchup in NFL history in a season finale where both teams have come in holding at least a 6-game winning streak or more coming into the game. So you got 2 really hot teams rolling here. And what it's going to, the marquee matchup, you got 2 of the better special teams units in the game, but you got this elite Niners offense with Brock Purdy, and they're just cooking. And you got this elite Seattle defense, and they're second in the league in points allowed. So something's got to give there. Then on the other side, you got a bottom 10 defense against a Seahawk offense that's kind of middle of the road with Darnold turning it over. If you go back to week 1, the Niners won up there. George Kittle in that game played only 21 snaps because of the hamstring. CMC could not run in that game. He averaged only 3.1 a carry. Jake Moody and the Niners special teams unit, which was still rounding into form at that point, and Jake obviously was playing his final game with the Niners. Jake and the Niners special teams cost the Niners 11 expected points, and yet they still won. They probably should have blown the Seahawks out that day. Brock threw two picks. Niners had 9 penalties, which was a lot for them this year. But the Niners still got the dub because of the Tongas catch in the end zone where he attacked that ball that was fluttering in the air. So there you go. The other thing tonight, it could be history. Niners could clinch the number 1 seed despite ranking dead last in sacks. No team has ever done that since sacks became an official stat back in 1982. No team ever has done it. Pretty amazing. Niners have 18 sacks. Denver's number 1 with 64. Denver has 64 sacks, and the Niners have 18. And the second worst is the Jets, and they have 26. I mean, the Niners are the worst sack team in football by a wide margin. Wide margin. All right, I like the Niners tonight. I like the Niners. Why? I like the Niners because Brock Purdy's better than Sam Darnold. You know, there was this for years and years and years, there was all these different angles on these Niners Seahawks matchups, but the only one that mattered was that the Seahawks had Russell Wilson and the Niners didn't. And Russell Wilson played awesome against the Niners. Russell Wilson was a Hall of Famer against the Niners. There is no 49er fan that would argue that Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer because he kicked our asses routinely and always made the biggest plays to put the game away in the fourth quarter. I can't even count the number of times it seemed like Russell put away a win on offense. You know, just these little, you couldn't stop him. You couldn't rush him. Once a game, he would break the entire defense down by holding the ball for like 12 seconds, breaking down the coverage. Russell Wilson was 17-4 against the Niners. 17-4. He owned them. All right, owned them. And then he left. And the Niners got Brock Purdy, who's an awful lot like Russell Wilson. And now Brock Purdy owns Seattle, 6-1. Only loss coming last year in that game where the Niners were exhausted and defense had nothing at the end. They couldn't stop Geno running the ball in. Other than that, Brock Purdy's undefeated, 6-0. Take away last year's Devondre Campbell disaster, and he's 6-0. 6-1 lifetime. The Niners are leading the league in points per game since Brock Purdy came back from his injury. So that's why I like the Niners. They're scoring 35.7 points a game since Brock came back. He is absolutely rolling. They're absolutely rolling. Sam Darnold, on the other hand, has 20 turnovers this year. 20. And he turns the ball over in bunches in big games. Now, Seattle has maybe one of the best defenses in the NFL, but they do have one weakness. They're not very good against the tight end. And what do the Niners have in abundance? Guys who can play tight end, who can catch. The Seahawks are 18th in DVOA defending tight ends this season. They give up the 5th most yards to tight ends this season of all time. And here comes Kittle and Tonjes. Advantage 49ers. Major advantage 49ers. I thought maybe the best soundbite of the week came courtesy of Greg Cosell on 95.7 The Game when he was talking about Brock Purdy and one of the reasons why he fell so late in the draft. And I thought it was interesting. This is what Cosell said. He said he sees the defense as he's dropping back and immediately knows where to go with the football. It's just innate. He's a master at that. These are the details, nuances, and subtleties of the quarterback position that are very, very hard. And one reason he was the last pick in the draft is because the college game guys are so different that they don't have to do this in college. So people don't know that he had this innate trait. And it's really, really high level. It's quarterbacking at a high level. So Greg's basically saying that everybody's looking for height, arm strength, whatever, hand size, 40 time, all these factors that don't matter. And they ignored the factors that do, like processing and accuracy. And do you know how to play the position? Can you make quick decisions under pressure? So Brock Purdy's playing really well. That's why I like the Niners. Charles Cross is officially out of this game. He's their starting left tackle for Seattle. He's out. Not going to play. That's a major advantage for the 49ers. Now, that would be a major advantage for the 49ers, no matter, no matter who is playing as the backup, right? Seattle has a good backup tackle. They have Josh Jones is their backup tackle. If you say, why did I know that name? Because he was a pretty high pick once upon a time of the Arizona Cardinals. Really good college offensive lineman. I think he played at Baylor. Let me look at Houston. 6'5", 340. Okay, big man, athletic. He's the backup to Charles Cross. Oh, but he's hurt. And that means they're starting a guy named Amari Kite, their third string tackle from Central Florida. Another huge guy, 6'7", 300 pounds. This is their third string offensive tackle. So the Niners can't rush the passer, but the Seahawks have their third string left tackle out there. So maybe the Niners can overload a side and put a little pressure on Darnold. That will be one thing to look for. How does their third string offensive tackle stand up? The Niners secondary gets a boost in this game. Renardo Green's back. The neck injury is healed enough where he can play. If the Niners can do this year, they can become the first team in the history of the NFL to have the number one seed. If they can win tonight, and with the Super Bowl ultimately culminating at their home stadium, that would be something. If the Niners did get the number one seed, this would be the very first time anybody's had the number one seed where in the same year the Super Bowl's at home. So the Niners would have a very, very unique situation. CMC, by the way, leads the NFL with 91 missed tackles forced on run plays, ranks 7th with 21 missed tackles forced on receptions, according to Next Gen Stats. He's the only player with 80 missed tackles forced on carries and 20-plus missed tackles forced on catches this season. Only player. Now, there is one thing that makes me pause, and that's the odds makers have upped the spread from Seattle minus 1.5. It's now sitting at Seattle minus 2.5. What does that mean? We're going to find out. We're going to find out for sure tonight. We should tell everybody that the Krug Show all season long is brought to you by our friends at Sleeper. That's right. The fastest growing fantasy platform in the world is Sleeper. We're big fans of Sleeper. Sleeper's been a great sponsor for the Krug Show. There it is right there. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Use code Larry. Use promo code Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. And also thanks to Habbas Law. 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. HabbasLaw.com on the web. Life comes at you. You never know. It's not about what happens to you. It's how you react to what happens to you. If you've been injured and you want to win and you're not sure who to call Habbas Law. There's only one call to make. HabbasLaw.com on the web. 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Omar Habbas, Tarek Habbas, and the Habbas Law team. The best. Absolutely the best. Great PI attorneys. If you want to win, there's only one call to make. 1-800-INJURED. All right, let's hit a couple of these supers. We do have 5 of them here. We got this one from Danny Figueredo. He says, must move Purdy on bootlegs and screen passes. I agree. Got to move the pocket. You got to use some of Seattle's unbelievable pursuit speed against them. I think especially in the second half. If you watch their games, some of their games explode in the second half because they've got a lot of great athletes that are moving really, really fast. They know they have great athletes. I think you got to use some of that speed against them and do a little misdirection, especially in the second half of this game. Lyle Bolyard says, Larry, why is there so many ACL tears this year? It's a great question. Some people would say that there's not enough athletes playing multiple sports, strengthening those little muscles that are around, that kind of protect the ACL in the ankle and in the knee. But there's no scientific proof of why. Just that it just seems like there are. You got guys who are bigger, faster, heavier, with more torque. Maybe that's the answer. I'm just guessing at this point. Joseph Ernberg, we should be grateful we are even here. 35-10 Seattle. What? 35-10 Seattle? I don't see that. I do not see Seattle putting up 35. Lyle Bolyard, I think if the Niners win tonight, and first of all, the Niners, I know the Seattle defense is good, but the Niners offense is going to be held to 10. They've been scoring 40. I think the 49ers are going to score 20, north of 20 for sure. Lyle Bolyard, I think if the Niners win tonight, they have a very good chance to make the Super Bowl. Lose, and I give them about a 25% chance to make it. Okay. Yeah, I think I would kind of agree. I don't know if I'd make it 25%. Mine might be closer to 30 or 40, but yeah. We're basically your total lockstep. All Niners is, if our D steps up and we beat Seattle by a lot, would they say absolutely this team's going into the playoffs? Wait. If our D steps up and we beat Seattle by a lot, what would that say about this team going into the playoffs? Oh, I got you. What would it say? It would say that Robert Saleh is going to be a head coach next year, because if he can get this defense to play really, really well, people are going to notice. It's going to be really interesting to see what Robert Saleh does tonight. Does he blitz Darnold a lot? Does he give him those defined reads? Does he not? We're going to find out. Frank Tom Ocean, you're the man, LK. Thanks for all the great content. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you, Tom. I'm so the man that I got to go, because 6 minutes from now, I'm going to be on the radio saying, good morning, everybody. Welcome to KNBR. Steve Rabel, the voice of the Hawks, is going to stop by. Looking forward to that. And go Niners. I like the Niners to win tonight, guys. I like the Niners to win. I think Pearsall will wind up playing, though the fact that it's game time is like, I think Kittle and Tonjes will have big roles. So will CMC. Niners have been great on third down, and they've been great at red zone touchdown percentage. And I think that's going to lift them through. I think Seahawks move the ball up and down the field, but the Niners buckle up in the red zone and stop them a couple times. And I think the Niners red zone offense will be more efficient and better than Seattle's red zone offense. And I like the Niners to win a game that's going to be tight. I'm going to say 28-24. It will be 28-21. Seahawks will kick a field goal, and the Niners will put it away in the fourth quarter on offense. There you go. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to Habbas Law. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Join me on the radio right now. 680 on the AM dial. iHeartRadio if you're out of town. Peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Can't